NBC News has a call to make in the New Jersey governor's race. In the New Jersey governor's race, NBC News projects that the Democratic candidate, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, has prevailed over Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli. No. This was by no means foretold.
No.
This was a race that was considered to be the closest big deal race of the night, likely, based on polling. Jack Ciattarelli making his third consecutive run for governor in New Jersey, therefore having high name recognition in the state. Mikey Sherrill, a fairly moderate national security Democrat, fairly new to New Jersey politics, even though she has been in Congress for several terms now, prevailing in this race. This is a big deal. Ali Velshi's been watching those numbers come in, and we could start to see those trends emerge. This is a live shot of Mikey Sherrill's election night headquarters. I believe that's in East Brunswick, isn't that right? So we're going to be watching this. We're expecting, obviously, a victory speech from Mikey Sherrill, but this is a very big deal. Stephanie Rowland,
I'm going to tell you, in a recent interview, when she said that she thought pork roll, egg, and cheese was disgusting, I was honestly worried for her. In the state I'm like, she may have blown it in my home state. I mean, this is pretty extraordinary, especially Mikey Sherrill is not from New Jersey, okay? And this is a state where sort of hometown authenticity means a lot to people. This is an extraordinary win. I was just at her rally that President Obama spoke at on Saturday night. Listen, it was a tight race. This is something very, very few people expected. Really big win for her.
I will also say there's a machismo factor in New Jersey politics that a lot of people thought was a ceiling for women. I mean, she defeated 5 men in the Democratic primary in order to become the Democratic nominee, and then up against Ciattarelli, who definitely leaned into that in terms of his campaign style. Mikey Sherrill winning and this being called less than 90 minutes after poll closing, Nicole, is really impressive.
Well, and it suggests that all the chatter about how tight it was dead wrong. And so it sort of brings us back to where we started, that we don't know anything until the voters speak. Yeah. So tonight is, of course, about the voters, and we'll learn why it was perceived to be so close. You know, was it vibes? Is there a limit to vibes? Is there a limit to the transferability of Trumpism to the Trumpiest of MAGA Republicans? It would seem that there are. I think one of the other hinge points that we have to start to suss out is whether Trump can do all the audacious things that he likes to do while people's personal economies are dire. And I think that the first term was obviously had COVID, blew up in the middle, and it was a global pandemic, and it scrambled the perception of what he had done to the economy. Before that, people had, for whatever reason, vibes that his wealth was transferable. His people would make any excuse possible to say that they just felt better with his hand on the steering wheel of the economy. This time around, he's doing 3 things that he didn't dare to do the first time. One is to publicly take command and control of the Department of Justice and prosecute the people he doesn't like. 2, to say the military works for me and to blow up boats that he says have drugs on them. And 3, knock down the actual White House. I mean, these are 3 things he didn't do the first term. We're month 9. He's doing things that he didn't dare to do the first time he was president, and people feel like garbage about their personal economies. We may be seeing the political limits of that as a brand.
I was just going to say, I mean, Jack Ciattarelli, he's run 3 times, right? And he has evolved like a chameleon through the course of these 3 runs. The first time he ran, and you remember this well, he ran as kind of a technocrat, really not that partisan at all, right? And then he kind of evolved over time. And this time he ran as a little bit of like a Glenn Youngkin type character, right? Where he was saying, I'm for his policies, I'm not for his tone. So to Nicole's point about transferring, he tried to transfer, right? And get some of the Trump energy that allowed Trump to only lose by 6 points. We don't know what the outcome is, but it didn't work.
But Trump freezing money for the Gateway Project hurt. Jack, I mean, that's thousands of jobs. And to Nicole's vibe point, machismo is very loud. And Trumpism is loud, and Trump gear and all that is loud in a state of loud New Jersey voters. But clearly, the numbers didn't bear out.
Well, the thing she's about to be the first female governor of New Jersey ever. Phil Murphy, who is the incumbent Democratic governor, is not popular in New Jersey.
No.
But this will be the third consecutive time when we've got the Democratic Party holding the governorship in New Jersey. A single party has not held the New Jersey governorship for 3 straight terms since 1961.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Mikey Sherrill has just pulled that off.
But the thing about machismo is that, you know, the much ballyhooed manosphere, which had me spending hours I'll never get back in my time on this earth listening to podcasts that I'll never unhear, may have misread how those men were drawn to Trump and Trumpism. Because the most emasculating thing on the planet is the loss of your purchase power, the loss of the ability to pick up a tab, the loss of the ability. You know how much a cart at Costco costs? A load of money. The carts are huge and everything is expensive. I mean, the impact on the economy, to people's sense of their power and their agency is massive. And no one except Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to care about it in the MAGA coalition.
And one of the things that was interesting that I picked up in talking to folks in New Jersey and Virginia tonight, and it's particularly true in Virginia, it was an interesting comment. Voters are exhausted. They're tired. They're tired of the whole constant drumbeat. Everything. They're on edge. They just feel there's this constant pressure on them to pay attention to what Trump is doing and to somehow be responsive to that. And meanwhile, to your point, Nicole, moms and dads are sitting down at kitchen tables and going, the books aren't balancing.
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. And wait a minute, you mean they cut the SNAP program? What are we? My husband just lost his federal contract?
Yeah.
Because the downstream effect of what Trump did, and this has been lost, I think, in translation, it's not just the federal and government employees who've been impacted. It's been the contractors and the men and women who work with the federal government whose jobs were frozen or lost or businesses closed because of what Trump did. And so you compound the pressure of just having to be tuned into everything this man is doing 24/7 with his damn tweets. And then I got to sit down and balance my books too. And he's telling me it's all good. And yet on Halloween, he's hosting this Great Gatsby Gala after having torn down the White House, weaponized the DOJ against people that I know. It all comes back and people get exhausted and they're just tired.
And I think in